Today we are at Karachi Electric's head office in Karachi, and we are here to interview Syed Fakhar Ahmed, who is currently serving Karachi Electric as Chief Marketing and Communication Officer. He is a seasoned professional and has worked with a number of organizations in Pakistan and overseas, including Nestle. We are here to discuss topic reputation management in the digital age. So thanks, Mr. Fakhar, for your time. So my first question from you is that what exactly is the reputation management?
I think reputation management of any business these days is paramount and is significantly important for every business, whether it's a local application or a global application. Because news these days travel faster than you and me can comprehend. So to comprehend the news and respond to it, we have to make sure that we are right, we are correct, and we are catching and controlling the perceptions of the consumer and the company image, which is very, very important. For example, we are living in an information age. Everything is available on a click of a second to consumers, to children, to adults, to old age people, on mobile app, on internet, website, so many applications. And then once you go through in the morning to your normal chat from WhatsApp to Facebook to Instagram to so many things, so you come to know about different companies, different operations, and then you make a perception that whether you are dealing with a good company or a bad company. So if your corporation's business ethics are good, transparent, and they are giving the right value for the money, for the product or services they are selling to their consumers, they stand out. But the companies which fosters negativity, which fosters unethical business practices, which are not corporate citizen, so if these things continue to go out, the consumer will start to feel a conscious perception of something wrong about your company. So if they make it, so on one side probably you are doing a very, very elaborate marketing strategy, and you are showing the strength of your brand or your strength of your services or the level of the goodness of your products and services. So this is what you are trying to sell to the consumers across different price points, locations, etc., etc. But on the same side, if you are not managing the reputation rightly, that can make or break your business. So that is the power of the information age. That is the power where people feel connected. That is the power of digital media.
What is the impact of digitalization on the businesses worldwide?
I call it 1 second management. You need to learn the art of 1 second management of a situation. That's what the digital media teaches you. Because you construct a news, good or bad, you construct a view, good or bad, you construct a perception, good or bad, all you need to do is just press one button. Takes less than a second and it goes viral. And if there is some meat in that, in information, either on the positive side or on the negative side, people start to make a perception about your company. And in the power sector, we are a power utility supplier. I think we are one of the most engaged digital media platform in Pakistan compared to any other company, particularly Twitter, whether it's Facebook or the queries we receive through our web-based mails and other information platforms. So, and there are 22 million consumers, and Karachi is one of the most literate city with the most use of internet in Pakistan, the most use of smart apps in the country. So we have to face all that. And if somebody's power is not there, so somebody can even create an image that the whole region does not have any power. So that's the gravity of the situation. But we have teams deployed in-house, fairly large teams on the digital media side, and they try to respond each and every query or comment raised on the social media. As of today, if I am not wrong, we are responding to at least more than 95% of everything which comes on the digital media our way across any platform. I think that's something which is very high.
Crisis management in the digital age is difficult task for all the organizations, but I think it is more difficult for an organization like yourself, which is into power sector. So my question is, how do you manage a crisis in this digital age?
Okay, let me define you about the crisis. You need to educate your management on crisis. Crisis is not something that, there's a fire somewhere. A crisis is something which disturbs the continuity of your business, or it disturbs your business continuity plan. That is what crisis is. And crisis is something where people know about that something has happened. Let's say if an incident or something has happened, good or bad, at one particular place, it remains a localized incident, no matter how big it is. It only becomes a crisis once everybody knows about it. You understand? So most of the people, they do not understand the correlation between an incident and a crisis. Incident can be a big incident, or a small incident, or a mega incident, but still it is an incident. Once people know about it through media, through other channels, it becomes a crisis. Now you have to manage that crisis. And there's one side which is, I would call it the financial or the commercial management of the business, and the other side is political and the reputational management of the business. And if you are wise, if your management is cohesive, they are aligned, at times you can turn crisis towards your credit, towards the goodness of your organization. Because suddenly a crisis occurs, people talking about your product, people talking about your services, people talking about your something gone bad against your organization. But at the same time, if you are considerate, you are humble, you show humility, and you respond something to people's good expectation, that changes the whole perception. That okay, this has happened, but wow, what a good management. They've just come back with a plan, and that solves the problem. And you keep the people satisfied. And the people, by I mean, there are many stakeholders. Stakeholders are your customers, your consumers, your shareholders, the people you work and live with, your employees, the families of your employees, people out there who are not your customers, just watching your brand. So all of this is your investors. So they are your stakeholders. So you have to keep them satisfied that your actions are responsive and you are doing a right thing. That is what you need to portray.
How do you prioritize and educate management on the digitalization and reputation management?
Okay, now here comes a challenge. In every organization, there's a mix of people at the top level. There are financial gurus, there are business gurus, there are marketing gurus, there are technical gurus, there are research and development gurus. Now these all the big gurus जो अपने फन के टॉप के ऊपर हैं, करियर के टॉप के ऊपर हैं, they try and integrate the business processes and systems of the company and ultimate delivery both to the consumer and to the shareholder and investor of your company. So you have to bring growth and benefit to both. So that's the normal business model. Now people coming in from different background, they need to be regularly educated on the power of media, particularly the power of digital media. Because nowadays, particularly global companies, if your product is hit in England, or your product is hit in New York, or your product is hit in Germany, it will affect in India, it will affect in Pakistan, it will affect your sales in China, it will affect your sales in Africa. That's how the news impacts global businesses. Now, same way, if you have a local application within a particular country, for example, you're just based out of Pakistan. So in such case, you have a whole value chain, starting from the upstream value chain to the downstream consumer. So at each level, you have to make sure that the goodness, I always call it the goodness and the strength of the of the legitimacy and the value you bring within your value chain to give the best to your customer and your shareholder. So the combination of these two. Now I think the management must regularly undergo top management, the board of directors, chairmen, leadership teams across companies, director level people in the companies. I think they must go at least once or twice training on crisis management, on the influence of digital media on businesses, because if you look at it, people who are under the age of 30, I say they are the citizens of the digital world. People who are above 30 years of age, up till 50s or 50 in their mid 50s, they are migrants. They're immigrants into the digital world. But people who are above 60, they are aliens. You see? So now if you look at the whole investor chain, so most of the big investor, you'll find people above 60 or late 50s, etc. The top management ranges between mid 40s, and you have the young generation, which we call the Y generation, in their mid 20s and late 20s. Now they are the citizens, they are the habitants of the digital world. So you have to drive through the chain of information through a level of management which also have a generation gap on technology. That's how the world is moving. So you need to align them all in one direction. So this is the kind of impact. Now if you go and look at different statistics, you'll find out that these days your digital media influences on your sales, on your marketing strategies, on your business development planning, even the information of your products and services which you deliver to your consumer, more than any other factor which used to exist in the past. Marketing on the digital media is a growing trend. There are smaller entrepreneurs, smaller companies which probably they never go on the newspapers sometimes. They are never on the television. They're never on the cable. They are only marketing their products and services through the digital medium, and they are very, very successful. And I see another couple of years, some of the traditional modules of showcasing your products and services and showing your brand strength, I think they will be faded out. It is a digital world we are working, and it is a much highly complex digital world which we are entering now. So we are going to a different era, and I think sooner than later. I mean, sometimes wherever I work, I tell the top management that we should be learning these new things as of yesterday. That's how things are moving. We have to be faster, bolder, quicker than the news which travels on the digital medium.
Are you satisfied with the quality of graduates coming out of the universities, and particularly with the background of marketing and digital education?
This is a sensitive question. Between subject matter specialist, the academia, and the street smart professional. It's a mix of these three. At times, you have graduates coming in very good universities. They perform very good. And the same universities produce graduates which do not perform at all. And similarly, you have young generation coming out of not very high-end universities, and they perform very well in terms of their self-learning and delivery to the organization. So I think it's a mix of both. It's the strengths which you bring in through your institutions of your education, which is your university or your schools, etc., and that equal number of strength you have to drive. In my word, I call it the street smart executive, where you pick up the information from people. You are a quick learner, you are a go-getter, you are a driver, and something which you have inside you. So that's what I tell the young generation, that I need to see the fire in you. If you have to reach a higher position, you need to light that fire. Your degree or your high-end university is not going to take you too high. It may give you an opportunity to get a good job, but to deliver a good job and to getting a good job, there's a big difference. So you may get a job, but you may not deliver. So you have to deliver in the job. And to deliver in the job, you have to be fast learner, you have to pick up things right, left and center. You have to learn things over and above what you are supposed to do, and you have to deliver over and above. For example, Pakistan has about 20 crore people. Now out of that, 70% are below the age of 35. So if I just get the graduates people, there are more than 3 to 4 crore people, which are 30 to 40 million people. Anybody is competing, the young generation. And out of the whole world, 6 billion people. So if you even take out 40% or 30% of the whole world, this is number of hundreds of millions of people who are graduates from universities, and you are all competing. World is going on automation. Less and less jobs in the market. So the faster, the smartest, and the go-getter is going to rise.
We have a question here from the audience. The question is that what are the career options in the reputation management, and which type of education and qualifications one must have to pursue career in the reputation management?
It's reputation management does not come in a day. You have to work a little bit in different functions. I mean, you have to, if you only take up that, I am a guy from the corporate affairs or the regulatory affairs, you are not the best man to manage the reputation. You have to have at least multiple fields. You have worked in marketing, a bit of sales, somewhere business management, business strategy. A basic essence of business finance is essential. So number of these things, people's management. So all these kinds of factors, they feed into your career. So in a time period of, let's say, 10, 12, 13 years, you are at a level you can say that, I am able to manage crisis or media management or digital media management for the company. But within that, you can work as a small component. But if you just stay in one field, only marketing, and then you say, I'm going to do the reputation management 10 years down the road, you cannot. You have to know the essence of the business and the understanding of the business continuity planning before you qualify yourself to deliver on the crisis management side of the business, because it is something which is a direct reflection of the chief executive and the board of directors, how they would like to put their company out there. If you cannot transform that thought directly, then you are not the right person for that.
Okay, we have another question from the audience, and that is, what is your perspective on marketing versus communication?
I think if you look at it, the countries, it depends on market to market. I have been to many countries. So if you let's look in Pakistan, we are more sensitized towards digital news. People are exploring news, what's happening, at the political front, at the economic front, on number of things, because we are developing economies, we are not developed economies. Now if you go to some of the developed economies, some of the advanced nations, people see television just a little bit for entertainment. They are not looking into news, but they inform themselves through the apps, because the working hours are more, life is very busy. I mean, in a country like our culture, people go to office, go back home, sit in front of TV or start to look at their laptop. But there are countries where people go to offices, then they go to gymnasiums, then they go to recreation. So the only facility they have is smart applications on their mobile phones. So what they do is they try to keep themselves updated. So whatever coming on the digital medium is straight away going into their mind, and they are making perception. And I must tell you, perception is stronger than reality. We must remember that.
And Fakhar sir, what would be your message for the people of Pakistan?
I think to the young people of Pakistan, I just want to say that I had the opportunity working in many countries at a very senior position in global corporations, where I chose to be a Pakistani. I lived in Pakistan. I came back to Pakistan. I'm working here because I have faith in this country. This country has a lot to offer to every one of us. But for that, we have to have faith. We have to learn. We have to do hard work, because there is no shortcut to hard work. There is no shortcut to learning. And one thing which I would like to add, you have to be smarter, faster and bolder, whatever you do. Go-getter.
Thank you, Fakhar sir, for your time, and thank you, audience, for tuning in as well.